Good morning to one and all students.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, very good morning, Danuj and Yadudev. So I will share my desktop so that you are able to see my presentation. So students, are you able to see my presentation window?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thanks for your response. So the subject code and name we are going to study throughout this semester is UDIT 010 ethical hacking and cyber security. So this is what the subject name with code. And today we are going to see about the topic called firewall and its types. So this is what topic we are going to see today. The agenda for today's session is attendance at the start and end, introduction about myself, etiquettes to be followed, learning objective and outcome, recap of our previous class, introduction about the topic, explanation, summarization, and Q&A feedback is training. This is what the session plan. So as per the session plan, I am going to take the attendance. So students, please unmute your audio and mark your presence. Answer your attendance for Adarsh, Akash,
Sir,
Surya. Yeah, tell pa.
சார் ஆதர்ஸ் ஏரியா நல்ல மழை போல சார் அங்க கரண்ட் ஆஃப்னு சொன்னாங்க சார் ஒரு 3 to 1 வீக்காவே.
ஓகே ஓகே. Surya, Mageshwaran, Azhar,
Present sir.
Soib,
Present sir.
Aravind,
Yes, sir.
Saranraj,
Present, sir.
Ranjit,
Present, sir.
Pavendan,
Present, sir.
Antonio,
Present, sir.
Vishnu, Ardra,
Sir, Vishnu present, sir.
Present, sir.
Yeah, okay. Noel,
Present sir.
Harry, Nitish Balaji,
Yes sir.
Raghavendra, Sri Viramani,
Present sir.
Shubham,
Sir.
Yogeshwaran,
Sir.
Shivaguru, Aniruddha, Krishna Kumar, Omkar, Ranjit,
Sir, Krishna Kumar present.
Yeah, who is this? Krishna Kumar.
Krishna Kumar, sir. Petroleum.
Yeah, okay. Omkar is there. Ranjit from
Sir.
Petroleum. Danuj,
Present, sir.
Yadudev,
Present sir.
Ashton Khalid.
Yes, sir. Sir, sir.
Kamlesh.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, noted. Kamlesh,
Yes, sir.
Milan, Suraj,
Yes, sir.
Pradeep,
Yes, sir.
Shobit,
Yes, sir.
Vijay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay, noted. So, 6 to 7 absentee
Sir.
16. Okay. Yeah, who is this?
Sir, Magesh sir present there.
Mageshwaran. Okay, noted first.
Top.
Yeah, noted. Like, mark you present.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. We are getting back to our presentation screen. Introduction about myself and etiquettes to be followed. We discussed so many times, so I'm going to jump over to the learning objective. The objective of unit number 2 is to learn the techniques needed for providing protection and security to our personal data and information resources. So we are going to learn the techniques for protection of your personal data. The outcome is to apply different cryptographic operations of cryptographic algorithm. After studying the techniques, we are going to apply the techniques to protect our personal data. So this is what the objective and outcome. Then next one is recap of our previous session. So last class we started the topic called message authentication and completed. So before getting into that, am I audible to everyone, students?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your response, Ardra. Uh, so last class, the message authentication topic started. So in that, what is meant by this message authentication means authenticating the message. So how we are going to authenticate our message. That is one. So there are so many techniques or methods available, but within that, the best method is MAC, that is message authentication code. So this message authentication code provides both authenticity or authentication and confidentiality as well. So for this both achievement, we are using this MAC, that is message authentication code. So what we are doing here means the sender going to send some sensitive information to the receiver. So sender going to do encryption part first. So after encryption, the key gets added. After adding the key, the next process is adding the MAC using MAC algorithm. That is what message authentication code gets added. That is what the thing. So after this, the entire thing going to share to the receiver. Receiver also having the same MAC. So with this MAC, they are going to decrypt the message. So in this way, the message gets authenticated. That is, it going to check for the non-reputation. Non-reputation in the sense whether the sender previously having any track of records like illicit visits or sending some malicious information like that. So if there is no non-reputation, then the receiver going to decrypt the message and then they are going to see the message, view the message. This is what the message authentication we discussed yesterday. So today we are going to start next topic, that is firewalls and its types. So after this, you are having only one topic remaining in unit number 2. Probably next class we will complete our unit number 2. That is 29. We complete 29. Maybe 30 or 1. We have our CAT examination. We will let me plan afterwards. First, we complete our unit number 2, and I will share the notes for unit number 1 and 2 later. Within by this week or starting of our next class, I will share the notes and the video recording of all the things through our Google Classroom. This is what the plan. So today we are going to see about the firewall. So before getting into the firewall concept, we want to know about the 7 layers available under networks, that is computer networks. Because the cyber security and then ethical hacking or hacking concept, everything comes into the environment called networks. That is computer networks. Computer networks only responsible for all this good and bad activities. So it consists of 7 layers according to ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization. So with this, we are having 7 types of layers, and each layer is responsible for particular work. So why I am going to, or we are going to discuss about this is the firewall concept has some types. The types going to act on each layers. For example, one type going to act in session layer, one type going to act in application layer. So that is what we are going to see this 7 types of layers right now. So the 7 types of layers are is from bottom to top. From bottommost layer is physical layer. After that, data link layer. After that, network layer, transport layer, session layer, presentation layer, application layer. So this is what the 7 types of layers available. So the first one, bottommost is physical, data link, network, transport, session, presentation, and topmost is application layer. So here the transport layer is the middle, and it is going to act as a heart of this networks. So from the transport only all the things going to happen or happen. So the lower part before the transport layer, that is physical, data link, network, those are all comes under the category called hardware layers. And the topmost, that is session, presentation, application, those are all comes under the category called software layers. So what is the role of this transport layer means? The transport layer going to send the information from software layer to hardware layer, and in turn hardware layer going to return back some informations to the topmost layer through the transport layer, so that it is called as the transport. It's going to act as a bridge between the software layers and then hardware layers. This is what the thing we are going to see today. So the physical hardware layers comes under the layers are physical, data link, network. So physical layer means all the wiring connections. That is the physical connection between the devices. All the wiring connections are responsible by this physical layer only. Then the data link layer. Data link layer, we are going after establishing the connection. We are going to transfer the data. So delivery of the message. That is what they are responsible for, data link layer. Then network layer, obviously the network connection, that is the internet. In simple terms, it is the internet. Students, are you able to follow me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thanks for the response, Noel. The next one, transport layer, as I told, it going to be act as a bridge between the software and hardware layers. Then next one, session layer. Session layer is responsible for connection establishment. So connecting and tracking or making the record of that connection. That is what the main purpose. For example, we can tell an example as logging information. For example, if you are entering into the library, you want to enter your name or roll number, or you want to show your ID card with the barcode. for scanning all your informations and data. The same thing session layer going to do. I will tell you the small example. The next one is the presentation layer. Presentation layer, the data from the application layer, that is the topmost layer, the data can be sent to the presentation layer. Here, the operations can be done and it can be transmit to the network. That is, some formats are available for the data transmission. That format transmission happens in this presentation layer as we are presenting the information to anyone, like our PPT. Then the last one, that is topmost layer, is application layer. Application layer is going to produce the data. For example, you can consider your browser. So all this layer comes under one example. You are using any web browser. Maybe it may be Chrome, Firefox, UC browser, or anything maybe. You are using the browser. That browser itself an application. You are installing, you are downloading from the internet, you are installing into your machine. The machine may be desktop, laptop, or your mobile, anything maybe. But you are installing your browser. So that is called as the application that is responsible for application layer. So after opening up your web browser, you are going to search some data or you are giving some query as an input. So that query can be transferred into some format. That is what the presentation layer job. Once you logged in, once you enter into the web browser, the everything is the recorded thing. That is, when you switch on your machine, when you open up the browser, what are the things you are visiting in your browser, those are all responsibility for session layer. So after that, entering your query, you are pressing the enter button. That enter button going to search the relevant things for your inputted query through the internet. That is, they are bypassing the transport layer and going for the network layer. Network layer in the sense internet. So after the connection establishment of network layer, it's going to send the data. So the data can be received through the wire connection or wireless connection. That is the physical layer. So this is what the 7 layers of ISO OSI layers. So students, are you getting my point? Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So with this, we are moving to our actual topic, that is firewall. So firewall means it is the software. Firewall is the software used to maintain the security. So it already built in all the machines, but some types of firewall only inbuilt in all our machines. We are going to discuss 3 more types. So only one type only by default installed in our machine. So it is the software. When you are installing the operating system in your machine, the firewall also automatically get installed with our machine. So we can activate or we can switch it off by our wish. But anyhow, firewall is a software. It's going to block the illicit activity or unwanted activities in your machine. That is what the primary job of this firewall. Most of the time, individuals are not using this firewall. Myself and yourself are not using this firewall as we are using the machine, the standalone machine, maybe desktop or laptop only. So we are not using or giving much importance to this firewall. But in the organization, maybe in our university or in any organization, any industry, they are giving much priority to this firewall. So firewall is the very important software in the industry. But we are not giving much importance to that, but we are also want to give much importance in order to protect our data, because the standalone machine also getting connected with internet. Most of the illegal activities happens only with the connection of the internet or connection to the internet. So standalone machine also getting connected over the internet. So we are also give importance to this firewall. So what is the duty of this firewall means? It's going to block the unauthorized access, because the access may be anything. The spy can be going to monitor your machine, any spies. Then the former employees, the previous employees of the employer, maybe for some reason the employer sent off the employee, means if the employee knows the username and password of the topmost management, means then he or she may do some illicit activities or take the all the information relevant to this. So that is what the thing comes under unauthorized access. So these are the known things. The spy is the unknown thing. The previous employee access is the known things. So this is what the unauthorized access. So the firewall going to block this unauthorized access. That is the main duty of this firewall. The firewall can be three types, maybe hardware, software, or a combination of both. Three types means can be implemented in three ways. Then the next thing is firewall going to protect your data. It's going to act as a defense security to your machine. The next thing is why to use firewall. That is, some can be a good, some can be a bad. So bad thing mostly happens when we are connected to the internet. But the LAN connection within our university, within our any organization, any industry, most probably don't have this attack of this unauthorized access. Most probably 95% the attacks comes when we are connecting to the internet only, not with the local area connection. But somehow in the local area connection also we are implementing this firewall. For example, the topmost management is there. The lower level employee or a middle level employee going to access the top level management information, means it is not the feasible one. So in those cases, we also protect that access. We are going to put the firewall to access the topmost level information. For example, if we want to access the salary information of the another employee from the admin, it is protected because no one exposed to the salary of the another employee. Example I am telling. Like that. Another information of students, for example, your addresses, your phone numbers, it is not visible to everyone. So it gets protected with the help of this firewall. So this is what the administered networks, that is the good guys. Then the public networks, that is the unknown, unauthorized access. So this is what the thing we are using the firewalls. Then these are the types of the firewalls: packet filtering, application level, circuit level. So these are the three things. So before getting into that, students are able to follow me. Have you understood the firewall concept?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your response, Argra. So the first one is packet filtering. So each one having separate or unique features. So we are going to discuss in elaborate. So before getting into that, we want to know that, as I told earlier, if you are downloading the data, any data, document, it may be document, it may be audio, video, anything may be. If you are downloading from the internet, it cannot be downloaded entirely. It can be transferred in the form of packets. That is what I told earlier. We call that as a IP packets. So in that packet, what are all the information we are having means we are having two types of information. I will tell that. So here I will type. So the packet is the combination of IP address plus data. So data is the smallest portion and it also consists of the IP address. For each packet, this information are present. If any one of the packet lost, for example, if I am transferring or downloading 1 MB of data, it can be splitted into 5 KBs like that. Example I am telling. So if any one of the packets left or lost, then it can be identified with the help of this IP address. Data, we are not knowing anything because which type of data we are sending not known to the receiver. Only with the help of the IP address, we can find the data. Maybe it can be masqueraded or spoofed or manipulated. So with the help of the IP address only, we are going to monitor the packets. So this is what happens in the computer networks. So why I am going to why I am telling this means this type of sorry, this type of firewalls going to act one on the IP address, one on the data, and another one on the boot. That is why I told this. So the first one is the packet filtering. So packet filtering is the default firewall which are present in our machine by default. That is what the packet filtering. So this packet filtering happen in the transport layer, that is internet, network, and then transport layer. So these three layers are responsible for this packet filtering firewall. So transport layer going to send, that is transport the information from hardware to software or software to hardware. That is what the thing going to done by this transport layer. So internet in the sense network layer. So network layer and the data link layer is responsible for this packet filtering. So what is the main concentration of this packet filtering firewall is it going to check only the IP address, not the data. That is what the main thing. So the selection criteria, it is used as a condition and pattern matching for decision making. Sorry, decision making. So how the decision can be made means with the help of the IP address only. IP address, the entire thing. Maybe it may be a LAN connection, it may be a internet connection, that is intranet connection or internet connection. For both, we are having one number called port number. That is maybe in our local area network, if we are visiting our university website means it consists of the thing like 192.168.20.21:8080. So that 8080 is called as the port number. The famous port is 8080. There are some other port also, numbers also available. That is 8081, 8082. That is different. So this packet filtering going to check only the IP address and the port number, not the data. So if there are any data manipulated or malicious data, it doesn't know about that. It doesn't going to check about that. That is what the disadvantage of the packet filtering. If there is a manipulation over IP address, it going to check it. But if there is any discrepancy in the data field, it not going to monitor. So the advantage is cost, very low cost, then low resource use, best suited for small networks. Then disadvantages, it can be only on act on to the network layer. It's going to check only the IP address only. So data packets cannot be checked. That is what the thing. So because of this, it is easy prey to the spoofing or illicit activities. So in our machine, we are having only this packet filtering firewall only. Then the second one, application level, we can also call that as proxy. So we are using proxy most of the time for visiting the blocked websites. Maybe in our university or within the organization, someone establishing the content to the blocked website through the websites called proxy. So this proxy is going to act in the layer called application, because we are using the browser only most of the time to visit the website or to visit the block website through the proxy, because there are proxy application also. Application means exe also available. Proxy websites also available. For example, proxy burner is one of the famous website for proxy visiting the blocked websites. Then we are having so many applications, that is softwares, to visit the blocked websites. Maybe in our university, most of the people you are using, I guess, for accessing the Facebook, YouTube, I guess. Can anyone tell the name of the any proxy software? Whatever maybe you are using or you heard, because you using proxy, I guess. So can anyone answer? What is the proxy you are using? Not in the university, maybe or in your home, anything maybe. No one using the proxy. Students, please answer yes or no.
No, sir.
So you are not using the proxy. Okay, good. So these are the thing for application level firewalls or proxy firewalls. So the proxy is the thing which going to be hide your identity. So you are going to send the request to the web browser via this proxy. So the proxy is going to hide your identity and get the information. After getting the information, it's going to give you information. For example, proxy, through the proxy website, you are entering facebook.com or youtube.com, maybe instagram.com, anything, maybe the blocked websites. For example, in our university, we block Facebook, YouTube content. Okay, so in this, if you want to access, means in the proxy website you are giving youtube.com, so your IP address gets masked through this proxy. The proxy only going to get the information, that is request the information to the web server. So in it going to get, and then it going to supply the website whatever you are requested. That is what the proxy. So proxy is going to block or hide your identity. That is what the main thing. So disadvantages: more secure than packet firewalls, easy to log and audit incoming traffic. So here the main thing is, what is this proxy firewall going to do means, it's going to check the data. So previously it is going to check the IP address, it is going to check the data as well. So that is what the main thing. But here the one more thing is, it is the high cost. So previously it's a low cost, but it's not going to check much deeper. Here it is the high cost, but it's going to check the IP address, port number, and the data as well. That is what the main thing. For because of checking the data, this having the all logging information, which packet comes at which time. Like that, it has the full logging information. That is what. Then the last one, hybrid. So hybrid, the combination of both. It can also, we can also call that as a circuit level gateway or circuit level firewall. So here the combination of both packet firewall and then the second one can be combined. So proxy and the previous one gets combined, but in the series, not in the parallel. So seriously, that is one by one, contiguously, it can be connected so that the low cost gets converted into, sorry, high cost gets converted into low cost. Here, one can be easily check the IP address, one can be easily check the data, so that the entire security strengthens. So most of the time, we are using this hybrid firewall only, not using the low cost, that is the packet filtering or the application level firewall. So it depends upon our requirements. Whatever the requirements for us, we can implement any one of the firewall. So this is what the thing in this hybrid firewall. So it is inexpensive because we are combining both the low cost and the high cost. We are combining. So this is what the main thing in this hybrid level firewall. So with this, I will conclude the thing and I will show one small video regarding this so that whatever the theoretical concepts we see in, you can understand easily with the help of that video. So students, are able to see my video screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for your response, Noel. So this is what the thing, whatever I told you earlier, the packets. So this is what the thing I told in the theoretical concept. That is IP address plus data. So this packet firewall filtering is already present in our machine. If we want, we can activate. Somehow it also protects some security features. So the thing is, it's going to check only the IP address, sender receiver IP address, and then the port number. If it is okay, it will allow the packets to the firewall. So here what it is they are telling means, if anyone asks you to buy anything from your shop, so you are going to the shop and getting the things and getting the, I mean, giving back to the thing whomever you are asked. So sender, that is the who send you to the shop, doesn't know about the information about the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper also doesn't know the information about who sends you. So you are acting like a proxy. That is what explained in this video. So mom, son, and the shopkeeper.